Hey guys, today I want to speak about the clutch slave cylinders for the second generation RX-7, so the FC3s. Some people do get confused because there are two different slave cylinders for the clutch system on the car. The top one here is for a TurboII, so the later obviously the turbo version. The bottom one here is found on the EGI, obviously the naturally aspirated version of the second generation. They do look very similar, but there is a couple of subtle differences. This will, in theory, it will bolt down onto the bell housing, but because of the location of the actual fastening tabs, which are further back on the lower slave cylinder you see here compared to the TurboII version, it means that while it will bolt down, it won't, the travel is actually, where it travels in and out, it won't actually fit with the clutch release fork. The TurboII one obviously fits the TurboII, but this, if you bolt this in place on a EGI, you're going to have a similar problem where you're not going to have enough travel. I've now moved these back in line, and it's quite obvious you can see the two different locations of the fastening tabs. So yeah, this one, EGI, TurboII. In theory, the EGI version, which we actually sell on our website as well, we have both of these listed, by the way, but the EGI version should, in theory, fit the FB gearbox. There are some very slight differences, but after we've actually looked at the difference between the FB version of the slave cylinder and the EGI version, which we have here, in theory, we think they should fit. It is something that we're going to look at trialing later on, but I'm going to grab some. We're going to grab some pictures in a moment, and we'll show you the subtle differences. But we know it will fasten down without a problem. Okay, we're up here now with a first generation 1983 RX-7 FB. You can see just down here behind this bright blue oil filter the slave cylinder. If I zoom in, it's a little easier to see. Obviously the location, you can see where the mounting tabs are quite similar to the ones we was explaining earlier on in the video. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to remove the slave cylinder, bolt our FC version down so you can see that it will mount in the same location. Okay, so the standard FB slave cylinder is now out of the way. We're going to install the FC EGI slave cylinder in place. Okay, you can see now that it's bolted down in exactly the same location. If I zoom in, obviously the fasteners are in, it's seated into the clutch fork nicely, and when you look at that compared to obviously the original one, it looks pretty similar. There are some very subtle differences that I'll go across now. So we've got both slave cylinders removed now. So if you take a look at the two side by side, you can see they're pretty similar in size and dimensions. It's really obvious though when you place them back to back, you can see that the actual FB one in the top of the shot is ever so slightly shorter. So I mean, you should get a little more travel with the EGI version which we sell, and it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Yeah, the EGI one will probably get you out of a bind if you're stuck.